Hello.
What up, though?
Y'all, this is your girl, Jasmine.
And Matt.
And this is the
Millennial
Millennial Tempo by the Andrews.
Hey, we lit.
All right, y'all. So, Matt and I have been talking about doing a podcast for about 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a little minute.
Yeah, so we were inspired by the Casey crew, DJ Envy and Gia Casey. They have a podcast that they've been doing for a couple years. And we have been following them. We even went to go see them live. Like, we're obsessed with their family.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Like, they are just a phenomenal family. So anyway, we decided to, we got in the podcast and we just was like, you know what? Like, why don't we do one? I think for me, my main reason for deciding to want to do it was because my DMs be popping. Like, for real. Popping. For real. I can post the littlest things and I can post the biggest things, and I get so much positive feedback from everybody, like all type of people, men, guys and girls. Positive feedback on, you know, how they're inspired by me, how they just love my family, respect how I go to work, take care of my 2 kids, travel, still have a social life, and still try to maintain a happy household amongst all the other things that I have on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and you know, for me, my DMs don't be popping. You know, for y'all older people out there that don't know, DMs is direct messages, but you know, but I don't really be on social media like that very often. But for me, it was more or less just the inspiration by, like I said, well, like Jasmine said, the Casey Group podcast, you know, it was subjects that was interesting to me. And we started listening to the podcast together as a couple, listening to, you know, other couples discuss their marriage and, you know, how they raise their kids and this, that, and the third. So it was interesting to me. So when Jasmine said, hey, I want to start a podcast, I was like, okay, let's do it. You know what I mean? The little creative portion of me got a little excited, and I'm a little bit of a tech geek, so it was just like more of a reason to buy some more equipment.
Tech geek stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And so he can sit down here in this basement and play with it all day.
Pretty much.
As he does. But yeah, so like I said, I just want to be an inspiration. I want to encourage families. I want to encourage women that they can go to work. They can be a wife and they can be a mom. I want to encourage people that despite commuting and being tired and, you know, maybe not being able to make it to the gym, not being able to cook every day, and still understanding and knowing that you're still a phenomenal woman, that you can still be a great wife, you can still be a great mom, you can still be that best employee. We also want to talk about, you know, how things have changed. It's year 2019, whereas we grew up in the 90s and we were parents different, you know, so we're going to compare and contrast our upbringing versus how we plan on upbringing our children.
Most definitely was parented a little different.
Right. Like we sit and we, most of the times when we have our little chit chats, it's typically like if we're in a car together. We do lots of road trips and stuff. I'm from Georgia. He's from North Carolina. So we're up and down the East Coast quite often visiting family. And most of the time when we're up and down, we're talking. And we get to talking about our past. We talking about our future, talking about the present. And a lot of times we realize, like, dang, things have really changed. And we also think like, I don't want to do that with my kids, or I'm going to be better than my parents, and, you know, different things like that. Not that our parents weren't great parents, but things have just changed so much, and our parents didn't know a lot of things, and we're just educating ourselves.
Right. Yeah. I think, our parents, I don't know, they grew up in a certain time frame that was just different. You know, things have just changed so dramatically. I mean, even with things like the access to information has changed, you know, not only that, just equality has changed a little bit. It's gotten a little bit better. It's not 100% there all the way. You know.
No, far from it.
We know that, you know, systemic racism and XYZ is a thing, but things were just different back then. People pretty much had to take what they can get, more or less, than go out and get what they want. And it's kind of shifting just a little bit, but in the right direction for people of our demographic, black community, black and brown community, to where more of us can go out and get what we want versus all of us pretty much getting what we can. So that plays a part of how you raise kids too. So
yeah, and we want to change the stigma against millennials. Like, we got a bad rep. Like, it's bad, but I don't understand why. If you ask me,
I know why.
I mean, I just feel like millennials have set this. We've set a different standard, and I feel like we set a better standard. Overall, I ain't talking about these shoot 'em up, bang bang hoodlums or the all in your phones and shooting up the schools and all of those type of millennials. I'm talking about the vast majority of us, and we got our own tempo. So we are the millennial tempo.
Yeah.
So
So what we gonna start?
I think that I have been kind of brainstorming, and I have come up with the topic. You wanna know what that topic is?
What?
Who bagged who?
Oh man, my game's strong, so.
Who bagged who?
This gonna be a one-sided conversation for the folks.
Nah.
This gonna be one-sided.
Nah, B.
And by bag, she means who got whose number, or who it sparked interest in the other person's, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna give you a backstory, and then we're gonna get on into it. So, when we got married, we did like a website. And on the website, it had like his story and it had her story. So he was over in Afghanistan. So I sent him the link. I'm like, hey, here's the link. Update. Put your version of our story, which was where you're supposed to explain pretty much your love story, how you got together, how you met, when you got engaged, and who fell in love, how you fell in love, all of that. And I was supposed to put my story. So he posted up his, and then I posted up mine, and the stories were completely different. When I tell you completely different. So over the last almost 6 years, we've been together 7 years. So I guess over the last 6-7 years, we have been debating on who bagged who.
I mean, I guess a little bit of a debate, but
It's been a debate. All right, so
I mean, you start us off. Let the people know what your side of the story was and how the day went from you.
From my perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all my perspective of how I bagged him, and I mean, this is the Millennial Tour, Millennial Tempo. So look at me, I'm talking about the Millennial Tour. That B2K and Pretty Ricky tour was litty. So yeah, I can use those type of terms and phrases because I know my listeners. So anyways, this was Super Bowl weekend 2012, and a friend of mine, well, I say an associate of mine invited me to a Super Bowl party. And I showed up to the Super Bowl party, and I pulled up solo. We was in Columbus, Georgia. Mind you, he's from North Carolina. I'm from Columbus, Georgia, obviously. And so I pulled up, and I walked to the party. It was no big party. It was probably like 5 or 6 people there. So anyways, when I got there, him and another friend of ours, which was actually our mutual friend, were sitting on a patio. And so, I came to go speak to our mutual friend. Hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Whatever. He like, oh, this my boy Matt. He's stationed down at Fort Stewart with me. This my boy. I'm like, oh, okay. Hey, how you doing? So when I first seen him, of course I looked at his face, but I'm a look down up type person, which means that, if you got some dress game about yourself, if you not the best looking, I could still work with you. So at that moment, I immediately look down. So I'm a down, look up person. So I look down, I'm like, oh, he got on some up tempos. Everybody ain't wearing up tempos like that. So I assume like, okay, he got some dress game by himself. This dude know what he doing. He got on some up tempos. So then I work my way on up. I see him and I'm like, oh, he cute too. Okay. So the night goes on. We chilling, we eating, watching the game, whatever. And my associate, I was like, oh girl, he fine. Like I like him. She's like, oh yeah, that's D friend. That's so-and-so friend. I'm like, oh, so you know who he with? She's like, oh, I don't know, whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we go outside. I think I went outside on the patio first. And then he came behind me on the patio. And this is like later on as the party has gone on. And so I, see him on the patio. And then I gave him my number. And that was that. So this was a Sunday. I say maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday roll around. He never called me. He ain't text me. He ain't call me. I'm like, oh, okay. And at this time, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to see what old boy talking about. But, backtrack. The friend of mine, I was like, girl, I'm going to get him. Like, yeah, I'm finna get him. I had told her that. And so, like I said, he never called me. So I hit up our mutual friend. I'm like.
So hold on. Before you carry on.
What?
All the fellas that's listening to the podcast. As a matter of fact, anybody that's listening to the podcast, off the rip, based off of her story, who do you think bagged who?
I bagged him.
No.
I said I'm going to get you. And I got you. You didn't say, oh, I'm about to get her. I said I'm going to get you. I bagged you. That's how that go. Do you know the definition of bagged?
Yeah, I know the definition of bagged.
I bagged you.
Hey.
Man, please. So
when you out, when you real players know that you always want to be wanted. You feel me? That's what a player do. A player needs to be wanted. So I made you want me.
You didn't do anything. You just had on some fresh shoes.
Nah, we had a full-blown conversation. We talked on the porch.
Yeah, we did.
When you came out there on that porch, we talked on that porch for about an hour.
Yeah, we did talk.
You feel me?
Yeah, we talked.
And I know I was jibber-jabbering because I like to talk.
Yeah, we was. I don't remember what we was talking about, though.
But it was good conversation, though, and it ended with me getting your number.
Yeah, you're right, but whatever. Anyways, so he never called me. So I hit up our mutual friend. I'm like, what's up with your boy? He like, oh, I'm like, man, give me his number. So he gave me his number. I hit him up like, hey.
Real bold now.
Yeah.
Bold.
I was like, shoot, I'm trying to see what's up.
I had on ice.
Man, please.
I had on ice, boy.
So anyways, I hit him up. We from that day on, I don't even think that he even asked me like how you get my number. Like it was just like, oh, what's?
Because I already knew.
He had told you that.
Of course, he told me.
He told you that he gave me his number.
He asked me, bruh. Jazz,
That was because I remember him responding quick.
Huh?
He asked you.
I was right next to him. See these little small nuances you don't know. Come on, man. The small nuances that you don't even know.
Because he responded back quick. So I knew he didn't ask you. But I didn't know y'all was together.
Yeah, we was together.
Okay, so anyways. So, so I hit him up. It was like, hey, so from that day on, we spoke every day, all day. Like, it was instant. Like, we talked for hours.
Hold on. Before we get all the way up in that, though, let's back up. Let me tell my story of how we first met. You going deep into it. It's not very different from yours. Okay. But just let me give my perspective from that initial day, though.
Okay, from the time when I text you.
No, not from the time.
I'm saying from there to the time I text you.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So like she said, we was at a Super Bowl party, 2012, and our mutual friend that we both know, I was over, I think at the time it was his girlfriend's house, right? So we was over there hanging out, just me, him, her, whatever, pre-gaming for the Super Bowl party before people came over. So we sitting outside, kicking it on the patio, and then this black Jeep roll up, pumping the music all loud. You know what I'm saying? And then this thick old thing popped out the jump. I'm like, yo, bro, who was that? First thing I noticed was these shimmering, bright, ridiculously loud gold Ugg boots on. I'm talking about like the brightest, and it was a sunny day too, so them joints was extra shiny.
It was still February.
It was
still winter.
Extra shiny, you know what I'm saying? So first thing I noticed on outside her voluptuous shape, which was obviously attracting to me as well. But, that was the first thing I seen. So she came in the house and, we got to talking. And I mean, pretty much the story went pretty much just like she said it. She came in. She came outside on the porch. We was introduced to each other. Went throughout, the party or whatever, kicking it, just mingling amongst everybody else. And then we went on the porch, had like an hour conversation between ourselves, and then exchanged numbers.
We didn't exchange numbers.
Well,
I gave you my number.
I got her number, and then we parted ways. And like I said, like she said, I didn't call her, but I my intentions was to call her, but I guess I didn't call her fast enough.
Tell them why you didn't probably call me.
Well, what you mean? What do you assume? What is your assumption why I didn't call?
Didn't you have a girlfriend?
No, I didn't have no girlfriend. I mean, I had people that I was friendly with that were girls.
Who you came to visit that weekend?
I had a young lady in Columbus that I was involved with. Definitely not on no serious relationship, but we was involved with each other. She was a nice young lady, and I was coming up there to visit her at the time.
Why she went at the party?
Oh, nah, she wasn't invited to that. I mean, she was a nice young lady, but she wasn't my lady.
So she couldn't come to the party? I'm just trying to figure out. Because after he left that party from getting my number, he went and slept next to her. So I'm just trying to figure that part out.
I don't really remember the details of why she didn't come to the party, but it may or may not have been because I probably didn't invite her to the party, or maybe she had something else going on.
But he went after he got my number. He went and laid next to her. I found that out.
Yeah.
Probably. When did I find that out? I probably found. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
It wasn't no cheating on nobody's part, but just
it is what it is.
A little add on to the story.
I was single out there, a young man doing my thing. young militant man doing my thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I hit him up. Like I said, we chit chatted, talked, whatever. Talk every day, all day, really. Texting, talking.
Crazy.
It was crazy. It was instant chemistry. Seriously,
it was though. Accelerated too. At that, it wasn't just instant. It was accelerated.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So, my birthday rolls around. We talked. So this was the beginning of February. Then my birthday is February 24th. So my birthday weekend comes along, and I invited him to come to Atlanta to come visit me for my birthday. And when he was supposed to came on like that Friday or Saturday, he lied to me and told me he had duty. I think it's a lie because he never had duty again after that. Tell the truth. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
I definitely wouldn't lie to you about that.
At that moment.
Nah, if I told you I had duty though.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. If I told you I had duty, I had duty.
He never had duty a day after that.
Nah, because we're out. And for those of you who don't know, I'm in the military, by the way. I know she said I was in Afghanistan earlier throughout the introduction, but if you don't know, duty. So where I'm currently located at is a small place, so it's not that many people there. So duty, and by duty I mean having to stay at work basically for 24 hours to stand watch, for the lack of better terms, right? But in a bigger place where there's more soldiers, duty comes less frequently. And that place where I was at in Georgia, Fort Stewart, it was a lot of soldiers, so I only had duty few and far in between, probably twice the whole time that I was living in Georgia, which was like almost 4 years. Okay. Whereas now I have it like once or twice a month.
I still don't believe him. Anyways, I know he don't really have much of a reason to lie, but I just don't think that he remembers the lie. That's what I think.
Well, if it was a lie, the lie was I had duty. So I mean, I guess
I think you got scared. I think he had never been to Atlanta. I think that he just was not. I don't know. I think he was nervous to come visit me. I really do. I really think that he was nervous. I don't know. It was something. I really think so.
Nah, listen.
Because and then I still feel like you had plenty of other weekends to come in, but you never came.
Nah, listen. Okay, why would I not come to Atlanta? You know, first of all, I'm adventurous by nature. By then, I had already been in Georgia for a long time, so I'd have been all over Georgia. Granted, haven't been to Atlanta, but was I not in Columbus though?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think you probably thought, I don't know. I really thought you were scared. Like, that's why I feel still to this day. Like, it was something holding you back as to why you hadn't come to visit and I had invited you all those weekends.
I think really like the only weekend that you really invited me was your birthday weekend.
No, Valentine's Day weekend. I feel like I invited you.
Valentine's Day weekend?
Yeah.
That was like right around Super Bowl, I feel like. So
yeah, it's like 2 weeks later.
Maybe like a week. I don't think that was
maybe a week. I don't know.
At that point, we wasn't even I don't know. Talking for real.
I guess.
You know, definitely invite me up for Valentine's Day weekend for sure.
I feel like I did.
Nah, you didn't.
Whatever. But anyway, so yeah,
I wasn't gonna buy no gift no way, so you wouldn't have seen me.
Whatever. He didn't show up for my birthday. And we still talked, whatever. And then maybe like a week or two later, I went on spring break.
Yeah.
And I went down to go visit him for my spring break. And it was a wrap after that. Like, he was like, I mean, this is the Millennial Tempo. Are we being honest? Are we going to be straight up honest or what?
Yeah, we're going to be honest. We ain't got no reason to withhold no information from the people.
Okay, so guys.
What?
All right, so I busted open the first night.
Hey.
So, and from there on, he was whipped. This man literally got on the highway. He would get out of work at what, 5 o'clock on Fridays.
About 5 o'clock.
Would not take his uniform off from that weekend after I went down there for my spring break up until he left from Afghanistan. So this is from March until October. Mm-hmm. Every single weekend, every Friday, this man was up and down that highway coming to come visit me.
I mean, true enough.
Because
I mean, it wasn't nothing going on in Hinesville, Georgia.
Nah, B.
Let's keep it real.
Nah, B.
We talking Hinesville, Georgia. So look.
This Columbus, Georgia girl had that ass whipped.
Nah, listen. True enough. Whip is
whip.
It's a statement that, you know, is a little bit to the extreme, right? I would say more or less I definitely was highly intrigued, and it wasn't because she necessarily busted open on the first night.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
It was just Fido.
I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I'm married to you, so it was great. But, you know what I mean? I think that it was more or less that we clicked, though. You know what I'm saying? So when she came down that first time, we already had a good rapport because we were conversing on the phone every day, whether it was voice or text. So I already knew that we can kind of easily banter back and forth with each other and have good conversations for hours on end. So that mental connection was already there. But it's one thing when you're talking on the phone to somebody and, you know, the chemistry is good to where, you know, now y'all face to face and y'all talking and ain't no real alcohol or, you know, nothing like that involved, and you can still go back and forth with that person and have a good conversation. So when she came down from Georgia, you know, we linked up, and I think at the time I was over my friend Kevin and Bree house kicking it or whatever. But anyway, she came down, and you know, we linked up, and it was the same chemistry as if we was on the phone, you know, like we was the last couple of weeks. So the chemistry was good and we had a good time. So I was like, I ain't never had this chemistry with no female before. I really like her. So not only did, you know, I enjoy the sex, but it was like the chemistry was just there. I could see myself hanging out with her, you know, other than just want to have sex with her. So that's really why. And then when like she said, I was going to Atlanta, you know, every weekend pretty much, leading up until, you know, engagement and then deployment. Later on is because once I went to Atlanta and I seen how awesome Atlanta was, and you know we was having a great time, and you know Hinesville and Savannah for me had ran this course, and honestly, you know it was like I'm single. I live in a military barracks with a twin size bed. Every time that she would have to come to Hinesville, you know. I would have to spend money for us to get a hotel. We have to stay in the hotel, and also, it's really not much to do in Savannah. I'm not even going to speak about Hinesville, but it's not really much to do in Hinesville or Savannah. So it's like, why even ask her to come down here?
What was the name of that hotel you would have me staying in?
Oh man,
it was
the first hotel. One I think. Oh man, that very first one.
Yeah, I was on. He really tried me like a thought.
Oh man,
what was it called?
Oh man, it was either the Budget Inn or the Nights Inn.
Oh my god, that's embarrassing.
Or the Econo Lodge.
Econo Lodge. That's what it was. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing.
The Econo Lodge. Hey,
oh my god,
it goes down. It goes down.
I'm so happy I don't have daughters. I wish my daughter would get bust open in the Econo Lodge.
Oh man, boy.
Oh my god.
Hey, what you mean though, man? I treated you but nothing like a gentleman from day one.
Man, you know, had me in the Econo Lodge.
I mean, I had myself in the Econo Lodge. I stayed there too.
Like a straight up thought.
You know, the thoughts just go back to the barracks on that twin size. that's where the thoughts go. You know what I'm saying? The thoughts don't even get to telly. So, you know, at the time, man, the Econo Lodge what was in my budget. You know what I'm saying? So we just had to go for that. Because that was in.
And there's no way I would ever in a million years stay in nothing like that
private
nowadays.
In Specialist Andrews' budget. You know, the Econo Lodge.
I guess. I still like to conclude that I bagged you. What do you think after hearing both perspectives?
I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know what I think. I mean, I guess the bigger question is what the people think.
What y'all think, y'all?
You know, you can.
We gonna try to get some feedback on that, y'all.
Yeah, we gonna try to get some feedback.
We
we'll
need
give y'all
some
outlets a little bit later on that y'all can reach out and give us some feedback on that. But you know, if you ask me, I bagged you. You know what I mean? I just played the nonchalant and reeled you in, and you came in, and I sunk my teeth down.
Boy, stop. Boy, stop. Nah. I think I bagged him. Like, he wasn't even studying me, and I came in and whoop whoop. And I was like, you know what? I'm finna go see him. So, like, I'm the one who.
So what motivated you to come see me?
I liked you, and I was on my spring break, and I had no plans. So I was like, okay. I think I had worked probably that week or whatever, and I think I took off that weekend. Mm-hmm. And then it was just like, I want to do something spring break. Yeah. Might as well. So I came down there.
Came to
Hinesville for spring break.
Hey.
Where they do that at?
Hey. That's how you know.
What they do?
That's how you know I bagged her. I had her drive from Atlanta to Hinesville, Georgia. She left Atlanta, Georgia, you know, to go to Hinesville. First of all, nobody listen to this podcast unless you in the military know where Hinesville, Georgia is, or unless you from Savannah, know where Hinesville, Georgia is. So, you know, think about it like that. Man, she left Atlanta, Georgia, to come to no name Hinesville.
I had never been there. I wanted to Georgia, see what it was like.
To come down on her spring break to see me. I bagged up. It's all right. I'll let y'all decide.
Yeah, whatever. So where we at on time, man?
Sheesh. I know I say we probably got about 30 minutes in.
Okay. So, yeah, guys, this is just something that we thought be a funny way to, you know, crank up the podcast. our millennial tempo. Like I said, we're gonna be flowing on our own tempo, the millennial way, and we thought this would be a funny way to get us cracking, because this has been an ongoing debate between the two of us. So yeah. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, we can wrap it up here, this first episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, this is Jasmine Andrews. Facebook, Jasmine Andrews. My Instagram is JuicyJ1989. No, that is not my Instagram.
That is your email address.
No, it's not.
I mean, part of it. No, it's not. Juicy J 1989.
I don't know.
Where'd that come from?
I think that might be my Snapchat.
Okay.
No, that's not even my Snapchat.
Yeah, it's kind of late.
That's like my Twitter.
You know what? It's late. It's okay.
I don't know. Okay, guys. My Instagram is Jazz the Juice. JAZZDAJUICE. And Matt, what's your Instagram?
My Instagram is Matt the Motivator. You can follow me there. I'm rarely on it though, but when I am on there though, I definitely motivate you if you're just a piece of shit. I mean, excuse my French, a piece of crap. No, I'm kidding. But no, it is Matt the Motivator though. Follow me there, and then you find me on Facebook, just Matthew Andrews.
Yeah, and my Snapchat is Jazz the Juice 89, I believe. Yep, Jazz JAZZDAJUICE 89. Also, we have an email. It's the Millennial Tempo at gmail.com. That is MILLENNIALTEMPO at gmail.com. Okay, guys, what we want y'all to do is, number one, give us some feedback on who bagged who. Y'all can either do that via email. You can go on our DMs. When we post up the podcast, you can write in your comments up under that. Who bagged who? Also, if you have questions about relationships, about parenting, about anything you want to get our perspective from or get our listeners' perspective, email us, hit us up in our DMs, and we're going to get it out there. We want to motivate. We want to get this, get it going, man. We're trying to change up the tempo of how millennials are perceived. We want to change it up. We want to put it in a positive light, and that's what we're here for, man. We're gonna hopefully get us a big enough platform to where we're just motivating and we're going at our own tempo.
Yeah, and I know we ending the podcast, but I feel like we didn't really formally say, yeah, it's me and you, but we got two kids too, though. We got Cody and Ken. A lot of listeners might not know that though, because some people might hear this and not necessarily have access to our social media outlets or no. So yeah, we got two kids too, by the way.
Yes.
If y'all didn't know.
We have a 2-year-old. His name is Cody, and we have a 4-month-old. His name is Cannon. Those are our two kids, and like I said, we're gonna get into all of that. Mm-hmm. You guys are going to probably know our shoe size, our clothes size. You're gonna probably know everything by the time it's all said and done.
Yep.
Because we plan on being very open, very honest, and very informative. We plan on talking about what's in the news. Just so many things we have balled up into what we plan on doing with this podcast, and we want to bring it, man. We really want to do something positive. This is all this is about, is positivity. So yeah, it's so there we go, y'all.
All right, well, it's time to get up out of here.
Yeah, we gotta go to work in the morning. Mm-hmm. I think you got PT in the morning, don't you?
I do got PT.
So what time is your wake up?
3:30.
And my wake up is...
It's 10:30 right now.
And my wake up is 5 a.m. So, and that's getting two kids together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're up out of here, y'all. Thank you for listening to the Millennial Tempo.
All right, we out.
Good night. Peace.
Love.